My child, I see the ache you try to hide when the room goes quiet at night. I see the way your heart tightens when you watch other people be chosen, loved, and pursued while you sit with a question no one seems able to answer. You have wondered if you were forgotten. You have wondered if you were too late. You have wondered if the one your soul longs for was never meant to find you. And beneath all of that, there has been a deeper pain, hasn't there? The pain of feeling betrayed by hope itself. You believed in love. You believed I could write a beautiful story. But somewhere along the way, disappointment started speaking louder than promise. Beloved, I am not angry that you have been hurting. I am not offended that you have cried out in confusion. I have watched you search for peace in every place except the place where peace was waiting for you. You looked for signs in random words, in numbers on a clock, in repeated names, in songs that seemed to appear at just the right time. You asked friends what they thought. You replayed old conversations. You tried to read hidden meaning into silence. And in your desperation, you even reached for things that promised control but delivered only more anxiety. You tried manifestation. You tried speaking it into existence. You tried to force certainty out of uncertainty because the waiting felt unbearable. But my child, I need you to hear me clearly. You were never meant to carry the weight of your own future. You were never meant to predict what only I can reveal. And you were never meant to build your hope on luck, chance, or the shifting emotions of a broken world. The love story I am writing for you is not ruled by accident. It is not fragile in the hands of fear. It is not delayed by the opinions of people who do not know my timing. What I have prepared for you has been guarded by my wisdom, shaped by my mercy, and held in my perfect sovereignty even when you could not see a single sign. Yes, I know the loneliness has been deep. I know you have sat in the silence and asked, why has this taken so long? I know you have wondered if there is something hidden, something wrong, something unfinished in your own soul that is keeping love away. And I want to speak tenderly to that wounded place in you right now. My child, you are not being punished. You are not being passed over. You are not behind. I have not forgotten your name, and I have not forgotten the one I have appointed to walk beside you. There is a secret about your soulmate that is about to be revealed, and it will not be revealed by human guessing. It will not come by accident. It will come through my timing, because I am the one who sees the whole path from beginning to end. What has been hidden is not hidden from me. What has been delayed is not denied. And what has been covered by confusion is now coming into my light. You have been asking for a sign, but what you really need is clarity. You have been asking for a feeling, but what you really need is truth. You have been asking for a moment, but what you really need is my direction. And I am telling you now, beloved, that the season of uncertainty is not the end of your story. Something is shifting beneath the surface. A veil is lifting. A truth that has been concealed, either from you, from them, or from both of you, is about to come forward. And when it does, it will explain why certain doors closed, why certain connections broke, and why I kept redirecting your steps even when you thought I was silent. Do not misunderstand my heart. I have not been withholding love from you. I have been protecting you from counterfeit. I have been separating you from what could have trapped your heart in sorrow. I have been stripping away every false promise that looked close enough to settle for, but was never meant to stay. Some of what you called loss was really rescue. Some of what you called rejection was really refinement. Some of what you called delay was really my mercy standing between you and a pain you were not meant to carry forever. Beloved, there are things happening in the unseen realm that you have not been able to interpret yet. There are prayers you prayed in tears that I have already answered in ways you could not recognize. There are conversations being prepared, hearts being softened, and hidden pieces falling into place. The one I have chosen for you is not lost to me. And if there has been confusion, distance, or a season of separation, I am able to speak into it with power. I am able to bring hidden things into the open. I am able to expose every lie, every distraction, every fear, every counterfeit, and every trap that has tried to keep you from peace. You have felt the pressure to figure it all out. You have been tempted to chase the future before it was ready. But I am calling you back into rest. Stop striving to uncover what I have not yet unfolded. Stop asking your soul to do the work of my spirit. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to trust me while I work. I am not asking you to predict the outcome. I am asking you to stay faithful in the present. Because the revelation that is coming will not only concern another person. It will also reveal something about your own soul, something I have been healing quietly all along. My child, the reason this matters is because I am not merely bringing two people together. I am preparing two hearts to recognize one another with wisdom, with peace, and with discernment. I am exposing what must be exposed so that you will not mistake emotion for covenant. I am removing the haze so that when the right time comes, you will not be blinded by fear or seduced by illusion. You will see clearly. You will know what is genuine. You will understand why I made you wait. And yes, I know that waiting has tested you. I know that at times you have wondered whether your heart could take one more disappointment. But listen to me now, beloved. I am closer than you think, and I am working more deeply than you know. The hidden matter is not staying hidden. The secret is not staying buried. What I reveal will bring both conviction and comfort. It will confirm what I have been saying to your spirit and expose what has been confusing your mind. I am bringing light where there has been uncertainty, and I am bringing peace where there has been striving. So breathe, my child. Let your shoulders drop. Let the fear loosen its grip. You do not have to manufacture your miracle. You do not have to chase your destiny. You do not have to force what I have already planned. Stay near to me, and you will see that the story was never slipping through your fingers. It was being written with greater care than you imagined. And very soon, what has been hidden about your soulmate will begin to come into view. My child, I want to go deeper with you now, because I do not only want to comfort your pain. I want to heal the root of it. I want to show you why your heart became so vulnerable to fear in the first place. I want to expose the quiet places where pressure entered, where trust was wounded, where your spirit began to bargain for certainty because uncertainty had become too heavy to carry. You did not fall into these traps because you are weak in some hopeless way. You fell into them because life hit areas I had already marked as tender. You carried disappointment longer than you should have had to. You carried bills, responsibilities, deadlines, and burdens that made your nervous system stay alert. You watched money come and go, and somewhere along the way, financial pressure began to whisper that you could not afford to wait. You started believing that if love did not come soon, then everything else might keep slipping too. And that pressure made you reach for control. Beloved, I see the nights you lay awake doing the math, trying to figure out how one more month, one more year, one more delay could possibly fit into your life. I see how financial stress can become spiritual stress when the heart is already tired. When you are under pressure, the enemy loves to turn your attention toward scarcity, because scarcity makes you rush. Scarcity makes you settle. Scarcity makes you think anything is better than nothing. But I am not leading you by scarcity. I am leading you by abundance, by wisdom, by timing, and by peace. And then there was broken trust. Someone hurt you. Someone promised and then disappeared. Someone looked sincere and then proved unreliable. Maybe it was a spouse, a partner, a parent, a friend, or a person you thought would stay. The wound did not just break your heart, my child. It trained your heart to scan for danger. It made you suspicious of hope. It made you question whether love was real or whether it was always going to leave. That is how broken trust works. It teaches the soul to brace for impact before joy can fully arrive. But I did not let that wound define you. I have been present in the very place where trust was shattered. I have been gathering the pieces. I have been teaching your heart that not every voice deserves your obedience, and not every delay is betrayal. Some delays are me standing guard over your life. Some silence is me protecting you from a premature yes. Some distance is me preventing you from building your future with someone who would not have honored the weight of it. And yes, my child, I also know where pride entered quietly. Not always loud pride. Not always the kind people can see. Sometimes pride wears the mask of self-protection. Sometimes pride says, I'll figure this out myself. Sometimes pride says, I don't need anyone. Sometimes pride says, if I can't understand it, I'll control it. Sometimes pride says, I will decide what happens next because I can't bear to be disappointed again. But that posture, even when born from pain, can keep your hands too full to receive what I want to place there. I am not condemning you. I am correcting you with love, because I know what fear does to a beautiful heart. It makes a person who was created for trust build walls instead of doors. It makes them demand proof before peace and control before surrender. Yet I am calling you out of that prison now. The answer is not more striving. The answer is not more signs. The answer is not more panic dressed up as discernment. The answer is to let me lead. Look at Job, beloved. He was a righteous man, and yet pain still found him. Loss came to his house. Questions came to his mind. Friends came with wrong conclusions. Everything around him looked like silence, but I was still there. I never abandoned him. I never lost sight of the end from the beginning. And when his season of testing was complete, I restored him. I vindicated him. I showed that suffering was not the final word. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. Look at Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold for silver, and thrown into a pit before he ever reached the palace. He had dreams, but the path to those dreams was not neat. It was marked by injustice, by waiting, by misunderstanding, by prison, by being forgotten by people who had once promised to remember him. But I was with Joseph in the pit. I was with him in Potiphar's house. I was with him in the prison. I was preparing him for the very place where his pain would become his position. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. Look at David. He was anointed long before he was appointed. He had the oil on his head before he had the crown in his hands. He was chosen in secret before he was celebrated in public. He faced giants, betrayal, caves, and seasons where he had to sing to my presence while his enemies circled. But I was shaping his heart in the hidden place. I was teaching him to depend on me more than applause, more than comfort, more than human approval. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. Look at Moses. He felt unqualified. He felt slow of speech. He felt hidden in a wilderness he did not choose. Yet I was not repelled by his weakness. I used it. I met him in the burning bush. I sent him back to confront what had oppressed my people for generations. I did not call him because he was impressive. I called him because I knew what I had placed inside him. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. Do you see the pattern, my child? The story is never just pain. The story is always my presence in the pain. The story is never just waiting. The story is always my work in the waiting. The story is never just delay. The story is always my preparation underneath the delay. What you have called the wilderness may actually be the place where I have been training your discernment, refining your desires, and removing every attachment that would have weakened your future. And this is why the secret about your soulmate matters so deeply. Because what I am about to reveal will not just inform you. It will free you. It will show you that there was a reason for the detours, a reason for the closed doors, a reason for the strange interruptions, a reason for the people who came close but could not stay, a reason for the inner resistance you felt even when something looked right on the outside. I was not confusing you to punish you. I was guiding you to protect you. Beloved, there has been a battle over your expectations. The enemy wanted to use your longing to turn into despair. He wanted to make you interpret every setback as evidence that you were unlovable or overlooked. But I am breaking that lie now. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared, and so is the one I have for you. That is why I am asking you to release the false methods of certainty. Stop trying to force the timeline. Stop searching every stranger's opinion for confirmation. Stop looking to the world for what only heaven can settle. I am the God who reveals hidden things. I am the one who brings truth into the light. And when I reveal what has been concealed, you will understand why I made you wait. You will understand why I kept you from settling. You will understand why I let certain attachments fall away. You will understand that I was not withholding love. I was making room for the right one, at the right time, in the right way, under my covering. So stay with me, my child. Stay soft enough to hear me. Stay humble enough to receive correction. Stay brave enough to let me heal what fear has distorted. Because the next part of this unfolding will require peace, not panic. It will require discernment, not desperation. It will require a heart that is ready to see what I have been hiding in plain sight. My child, I know the modern weight you have been carrying, because it is not just one burden. It is 1,000 small ones stacking up until your soul feels tired before the day even begins. Some of you have walked through a job loss and tried to smile through the shame of it. You sat in interviews with a practiced calm while your heart asked if you were still valuable now that a title had been stripped away. Some of you signed papers you never wanted to sign. You endured a divorce that broke more than a household. It fractured identity. It shook your sense of safety. It made you ask whether anything sacred could survive in a world that changes so quickly. Some of you have sat in hospital rooms, or beside a bed, or in the car after yet another appointment, feeling the fear of illness creep into your thoughts while you whispered, "Please let this not be the end of the story." I see all of it, beloved. I see the unpaid bills on the counter. I see the unread messages because you did not have the strength to answer. I see the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. I see the nights when you stared at the ceiling and wondered why sleep refused to come. I see the way your mind can run a marathon in the dark, replaying betrayal, forecasting loss, imagining worst-case outcomes, and then punishing itself for being unable to rest. I see the deep, hidden exhaustion of a soul that has been asked to stay strong for too long. And yes, I know betrayal has touched some of you in ways you still have not named out loud. Someone you trusted crossed a line. Someone close to you kept a secret. Someone looked you in the eye and lied. Someone you defended turned their back when you needed loyalty most. That kind of pain does something to the spirit. It can make love feel suspicious. It can make tenderness feel dangerous. It can make your heart say, "If I don't expect much, I won't be hurt much." But my child, that is not the way I formed you. I did not make you to live armored against every possibility of pain. I made you to love with wisdom, to hope with discernment, and to trust with a heart anchored in me. So when you began searching for a soulmate, you were not only searching for a person, you were searching for relief. You were searching for reassurance that your story could still be beautiful after everything that went wrong. You were searching for evidence that the pain did not win. And because the ache was so deep, you became vulnerable to anything that promised certainty. A quick message, a sudden feeling, a pattern in the sky, a phrase that sounded prophetic, a coincidence that felt too specific to ignore. You wanted me to speak, and I understand that longing. But I also needed to slow you down, because not every open door was from me, and not every strong feeling was truth. Beloved, I have watched you stand at the edge of your own uncertainty and ask, "Is this the one? Is this finally happening? Did I miss them? Did I ruin it? Did my fear push away what you meant to send?" I know those questions. I know the spiraling thoughts. I know the way the enemy uses ambiguity like a weapon, pressing on old wounds until you cannot tell peace from panic anymore. But I am not the author of confusion. I am not the one tormenting your mind with endless loops. I am the God who brings order, the God who clarifies, the God who reveals. But there is something I need you to know before I say anything else. What looked like delay was not neglect. What felt like silence was not absence. What seemed like a closed road was often my hand, turning you away from something you were not yet ready to see clearly. You thought I was making you wait because I was far away. But I was close. Very close. I was preparing the ground beneath your feet and the ground beneath their feet. I was working in places you could not access. I was arranging the kind of healing that does not show up on a calendar, but changes everything about the outcome. You called it delay because you could only see the waiting. I called it preparation because I could see the becoming. That is the turning point, my child. That is what I have been trying to show you all along. The season that made you feel overlooked was the very season that was training what you would need when the right person finally arrived. I was teaching you discernment when you wanted speed. I was teaching you surrender when you wanted control. I was teaching you to hear my voice when the noise of your own fears grew loud. I was teaching you to be whole before I joined you to another heart. Because a promise without preparation can become a burden. But a promise that arrives after shaping, healing, and surrender becomes a testimony. Think about how many times you almost gave up. Think about the job you lost and how, in the moment, it felt like a failure. But later, you realized that that environment was draining you, shrinking you, or distracting you from what I had next. Think about the relationship that ended and how humiliating it felt at the time. But later, you began to see the red flags, the misalignment, the things you had chosen not to notice because you were afraid to be alone. Think about the illness that slowed you down, the diagnosis that frightened you, the weakness that forced you to stop performing and start depending on me. I do not waste pain, beloved. I redeem it. I use what the world calls interruptions to build what the world cannot give. There are moments when I allow the old structure to fall so the new one can stand. There are seasons when I let a false hope collapse because if it had remained, it would have blocked the real one. There are times when I do not answer your yes immediately because I am protecting you from a yes that would have become regret. You wanted the story to move faster because you thought speed meant progress. But in my kingdom, sometimes slowness is mercy. Sometimes delay is wisdom. Sometimes the gap between desire and fulfillment is where the greatest transformation happens. And I know, my child, that this has tested your faith. I know because faith under pressure does not feel heroic. It feels tired. It feels fragile. It feels like whispering, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief," while your heart is still shaking. But I honor that prayer. I honor the faith that is trembling. I honor the heart that keeps showing up even after disappointment. That is not weakness. That is endurance. That is evidence that my spirit is still at work in you. Do not despise the hidden years. Joseph did not know that prison was preparing him to interpret dreams in a palace. David did not know that sheep fields were preparing him to shepherd a nation. Moses did not know that a wilderness was preparing him to stand before Pharaoh. Job did not know that the end of his testing would carry a double restoration. I did not tell them everything at once, because revelation without readiness can overwhelm the heart. But I was faithful in every step, and I am faithful in yours. And now, my child, I want you to feel this deeply. The very thing that seemed to stall your love story has been shaping the kind of love story I wanted for you all along. I was not only preparing a person, I was preparing perception. I was preparing humility. I was preparing patience. I was preparing a heart that could recognize covenant, not just chemistry. I was preparing you to receive with gratitude instead of fear. I was preparing you to love without losing yourself. I was preparing you to stand in truth, not fantasy. That is why the secret about your soulmate is so important, because it is connected to the reason the delay existed in the first place. There was something hidden in the process, something you could not have known until now. A motive you could not have seen. A wound you could not have detected. A truth you could not have interpreted without my timing. What seemed like a straight line was not straight at all. What seemed like random detours were actually divine safeguards. What seemed like the wrong season was the exact season needed for the right revelation. I want you to pause here and breathe, my child. Just breathe. Let the tension leave your jaw. Let the fear unclench its grip around your chest. You do not have to race ahead of me anymore. You do not have to search for hidden meanings in every shadow. You do not have to spend one more night trying to solve what I have already been working on. I am not asking you to carry the burden of interpretation. I am asking you to trust the one who sees everything. There is a reason your soul has felt restless. There is a reason the usual distractions have stopped satisfying you. There is a reason your heart keeps returning to the question of love, connection, and destiny. Because I have been drawing your attention to what is real. I have been loosening your grip on what is counterfeit. I have been leading you away from attachment to outcomes and toward attachment to me. And now the ground is changing. Not all at once. Not in a way that makes noise first. But beneath the surface, something is moving. A truth is rising. A hidden thread is being pulled loose. A connection between events you thought were unrelated is about to become clear. You will look back and realize that the disappointment had a purpose. The pressure had a purpose. The tears had a purpose. Even the questions had a purpose, because they drove you toward me when nothing else could satisfy you. Beloved, I am not finished. The waiting season is not empty. It has been full of my work. And before I tell you more, I need you to understand this. The delay was never the denial. It was the preparation. It was me protecting the promise until both hearts could meet in truth, not illusion. It was me building strength where there had been fragility. It was me teaching your soul to stand firm so that when the revelation came, you would not crumble under it. You would recognize it. You would receive it. And you would know, beyond all doubt, that I was there from the beginning. My child, now that you can see the delay differently, I want to place my promises over your heart like a covering. I am not vague about what I do. I am faithful, and I have spoken plainly through my word. I will lead you beside still waters, and I will restore your soul. I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. I will work all things together for good for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. Even this, beloved, even this season, even the heartbreak, even the confusion, even the waiting that felt unbearable. I am telling you, there is a door opening that no man can shut. There is a clearing taking place where once there was obstruction. There is protection around what I have ordained, because what I join in my time cannot be stolen by fear. The Lord your God goes before you and will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. So do not be afraid, and do not be discouraged. That promise is for you. That strength is for you. That peace is for you. And I want to speak something specific over your soulmate situation now. If there has been distance, I can bridge it. If there has been misunderstanding, I can correct it. If there has been a hidden issue, I can expose it. If there has been a counterfeit, I can remove it without damaging what is real. If there has been a heart that was not ready, I can prepare it. I am the one who searches minds and hearts, and nothing is concealed from me. What is hidden in darkness will come to light, and what is covered will be revealed in my perfect time. But listen closely, beloved, because there is one more thing I need you to know before this moment is over. The revelation is not only about who the person is. It is also about who you have become. The secret being uncovered will show you that I have been shaping you for a covenant that requires maturity, discernment, and peace. You are not the same person who started this journey, and that is part of the miracle. So I am calling your spirit to rise now. Rise out of fear. Rise out of the lie that you missed your chance. Rise out of the habit of expecting disappointment before joy. My child, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I am establishing that soundness in you now. I am strengthening your discernment so you will recognize what is from me and what is not. I am guarding your heart, because from it flow the issues of life. I am teaching you to trust me enough to wait, and brave enough to move when I say move. Let me pray over you now. My beloved child, I see every wound, every unanswered question, every long night, every secret tear, every prayer whispered through trembling lips. I know the loneliness that has sat beside you when no one else noticed. I know the betrayal that changed the way you look at people. I know the pressure that has tried to rush your decision-making. I know the shame that came when you thought you should have been further along by now. But I am here, and I am not here to condemn you. I am here to cover you. Father, in my name, I place wisdom over this precious one. Give them wisdom that is pure, peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruit. Let them not be driven by panic, persuasion, or pressure. Let them hear your voice above every other voice. Where confusion has clouded their judgment, bring clarity. Where fear has distorted what they see, bring truth. Where they have been tempted to grasp at control, teach them holy surrender. I ask you, Lord, to protect their heart from counterfeits. Shield them from manipulation disguised as affection. Shield them from timelines that are not yours. Shield them from relationships that drain, confuse, or diminish the work you are doing in them. Let every hidden thing be exposed. Let every false promise be broken. Let every scheme of the enemy be dismantled. No weapon formed against them shall prosper, and every tongue that rises in accusation, in doubt, or in shame shall be silenced by your righteousness. Give them courage, my Father. Courage to keep trusting when they cannot yet see the whole map. Courage to release what was never meant to stay. Courage to forgive what wounded them, even if healing takes time. Courage to believe that love can be pure, holy, and safe under your hand. Courage to stand still when you say wait, and courage to step forward when you open the way. And Father, I ask for breakthrough. Breakthrough in their mind. Breakthrough in their sleep. Breakthrough in their finances. Breakthrough in their relationships. Breakthrough in the hidden areas where grief has settled and hope has grown thin. Let the same power that raised me from the dead breathe new life into places that have felt dead and forgotten. Restore joy. Restore expectation. Restore confidence. Restore the ability to dream without dread. I also pray for the one you have chosen for them. Prepare that heart, wherever it is. Heal what needs healing. Correct what needs correcting. Remove every distraction that would pull them away from your will. Bring them into alignment with your truth, with your timing, and with your peace. If they are near, draw them nearer. If they are far, order their steps. If there is something hidden that needs to be brought into the light, do not let darkness win. Let truth rise, and let love be purified by it. And for this one listening right now, I pray a peace that passes understanding. I pray that their body would relax, their mind would settle, and their spirit would know that you are God. Let them stop chasing signs and start recognizing your presence. Let them stop fearing the wait and start trusting the process. Let them know that what you have spoken, you will perform. Not one promise will fail. My child, you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are being led, protected, and prepared by my hand. And when the secret is revealed, you will understand why I kept you close to my heart all along. Go in peace, beloved. The revelation is closer than you think.